Hi Vanessa, I wanted to answer your question about how to find a test point when you're graphing a linear inequality. You had been given the equation 2x plus 4y is less than or equal to 4. And so the first thing you said, you had no problem graphing the line itself, which is good. So I'm going to quickly graph it here on my graph paper. Notice when you have a less than or equal to sign, you're going to use a solid line to graph it. But if this had just been less than 4, you would have used a dotted line. So that's how you know what kind of line to use. So for this equation, you would have an x-intercept at 2. And so I'm going to put a dot at 2. And then you would have a y-intercept at 1, a dot there. And then you take your ruler, which I don't have for this video, so I'm going to just, best as I can, draw my solid line. Okay. And once you get your line drawn onto your graph paper, then you can use, this is when you choose your test point. And the main rule for choosing a test point is that it can be any point on the graph paper as long as it's not also on the line. So typically the easiest test point to choose is 0, 0, just because it's easy to plug in. So if I take the ordered pair 0, 0, I would test it into the original inequality and see if it satisfies it. So let's try that. Does 2 times 0 plus 4 times 0 come out less than or equal to 4? And when you check that, you get 0 is less than or equal to 4, so that's a yes. So that tells us that our test point that we picked, which is located right here, is on the side of the line, which is the side you want to shade because it came out as true, it satisfied the inequality. If we'd have gotten that it came out as false over here, then we would have had to shade the other side. So I'm going to shade this side because it came out as true. So it'll look something like this. Very lightly. I do it very lightly because the question you sent me was actually a system of linear inequalities, and so we still have to graph the other inequality as well, which was 4x plus y was less than or equal to 8. And so I have to get that one on, and then we'll see where the two regions overlap. So that one would have an x-intercept at 2 also, which I trust that you could figure this part out. I'm not going to show the work of where it came from because you told me in your email that that wasn't a problem. So an x-intercept at 2, and then a y-intercept at 8, which means I have to go pretty far up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, way up here. Okay, so then when I draw my line, it's going to go through 2 and 8 both. And it's solid again because of the fact that we had a less than or equal to on this one. And now what I would do is I would choose a test point and I would separately test it for this inequality. My favorite test point is 0, 0. So I'm going to test 0, 0 since it's not on the blue line and see if it works. It's 4 times 0 plus 0 come out less than or equal to 8. In other words, is 0 less than or equal to 8? And that's true also. So it turns out that if you look at the blue line now, okay, and then you look at the test point 0, 0, it is on the correct side of the blue line to be shaded. So we want to shade everything over here to the left of the blue line. So then I go ahead and do that. And again, I do it lightly because the final answer, when you put it into my math lab or when you turn this into your teacher for grading, is actually only the section that overlaps for both of these. So in the final answer, that means that I want to do just the region that's got blue and orange in it. See right here. I don't want to include this section over here where it's just orange in my final answer, and I don't want to include this section over here where it's just blue. So like in my math lab, when you pick up your paint bucket, you would only drop it here in this section up to the blue line here. That corner there is the final answer, and that's how you get it right. Hopefully that helps. Let me know if you have any more questions.
Made with Doodlecast Pro.